I told myself not to make a mistake. But I did anyway. Hi, and welcome to Quilt Meets World, where we have adventures in piecing and joy. I'm Russ, coming into my sewing room. We seem to have entered false fall this week. The weather this week has been pretty darn nice, on the verge of gorgeous in the mornings. But it's August, so I know it is false fall, and the heat will be coming back any minute now. At work, this has just been another week. There have been a few incidents that don't deserve any video time, but needless to say, I had to tell some people to do better. Riley and Percy have had an awesome week. I think the funniest thing that has happened has been Percy. He has been stealing Riley's bed as of late, and it's always hilarious because Riley will be like, Daddy, he's in my bed. uh, it, it's been a couple times where Percy has been in the bed and Riley will go in as well. And then everything is like, okay, nope, too many things in this body. I'm going to go. Percy, most of the time, though, just seems to not care. He's just like, I want a place to lay around and you're not using it, so it's mine. Here in my sewing room, though, it's been a pretty good week with as little as I managed to get done. On Wednesday during lunch, I managed to get in here for my break and cut up some fabric for an upcoming collab, which is next weekend. Then Wednesday evening, I was on live with my friend Stephanie of Quilting with Stephanie Stitches, and we sewed up month 3 of Bumbleberry PIe. Except I goofed, and I didn't realize I goofed until the very end. Well, it was when I was starting to lay out the second block because we had to make 2 of these. Looking at the block, it looks fine, gorgeous, and perfect. The problem is in the center 9 patch, the blues and whites are supposed to be in opposite piece spaces. I've pondered leaving it because, it looks fine on its own. But when I look at the overall quilt, I realize there's going to be a slight imbalance with the other corners, with the balance or with what the blocks are that's in the corner. So I'm kind of undecided. I haven't made the second block yet, but it's probably going to require some surgery. And then I also started looking at the next blocks, which are friendship stars, and realizing that I have my pinwheel block backwards. So I got to decide, am I going to do my friendship stars the opposite direction, or am I going to end up fixing the pinwheel star that I did last month wrong? So, yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Friday evening, I was in here and I cut up fabric for my Saturday Live. And that's when I decided, I trust the pattern designer. The fabric requirement said I needed this amount of fabric. And when I was cutting, I was like, how do I not have enough fabric? And afterwards, I realized it's because I had my 2 rulers backwards. I have a 6.5 wide and an 8.5 wide that are 24.5 long. And if I need to cut something that's larger than 8.5, I put them side by side. Usually, I put the 6.5 on the side that I'm cutting, and the 8.5 on the outside side, just because it's probably something larger than 8.5 that I'm cutting, and I would rather have more fabric under the 8.5 ruler as I can. So, or I'm sorry, on the left ruler as I can, to kind of keep a little bit of stability. And when I was trying to do that cut, Thankfully, I couldn't do it because I had the rulers wrong order. I swear I need to get like sticky notes when I'm doing these larger cuts and kind of pointing at the line that I need to measure at so that I don't do these goof ups. That was part of one of my goof ups in the Matters of the Heart quilt. I did the wrong size. So, yeah, I'm going to go to the Amazon and say, hey, give me some sticky notes or those little arrow things or something like that. But that ends up bringing us to Saturday, where I did my 11sies live. I worked on hourglass blocks from the Rock Candy pattern by Stephanie Stitches. So this is the pattern that I'm doing, and the fabrics that I'm working on, I believe they're called Celestial, and it's from Wyndham Fabrics. And I managed to get all of the hourglass blocks sewn. I haven't trimmed them yet. I did get a couple of them trimmed, but it's 28 hourglass blocks, and um, yeah, that's a lot of trimming. The blocks went together very quickly. I mean, there's 4 pieces to a block, so how slow can that be? And when they're trimmed down, I will be able to piece the entire center quilt together. But what I have been able to do is get the first row pieced. So, as white as it is, it starts over here with like the red, and then it goes into the orange, and then yellow, and greens, teals, whatever shade you want to call that. So I have one row done, and I think it's going to be very gorgeous. So it's just a matter of trimming the remaining 24 hourglasses and um, getting the rows pieced together and sewing the rows together. So, and then borders. It has some borders. I do have border fabric for it, and I'm excited that this will be done. After my 11sies, I went to my local quilt shop so I can see my quilt on display. As I mentioned last week, I did a shop sample for one of my local quilt shops using Tula Pink's Tabby Road fabric. So I dropped it off last weekend, and they hung it up while I was out, and it's been on display all week. And I managed to get there yesterday just to have a peek on how it's being displayed, see how many kits they've sold, get some little like energy out of them. And I also took a quick video, which I released as a YouTube short to show everyone how it's being displayed. If you haven't seen it, you should. It was my first short that I actually put to music, and I was thinking, this is the perfect music to put with the short. There are a few kits left if you are interested in buying that from my local quilt shop. There's a link in the description below that gets you directly to the kit. Their kits are including everything that you need, from the fabric that is required, because why buy a kit without fabric? The pattern book is included, so you don't have to go hunt that down separately. And then the addendum that I provided to say, this is what I changed from the pattern in order to get you this kit. Also, though, if you want to kit it up yourself, you can just shoot me an email and I will send you a PDF of the addendum that I wrote up for the pattern. It includes the fabric requirements that you're going to need, because they're slightly different than what the book requires. And it also tells you what book is required so that you can buy that separately if you don't already have it. It's a lot of fun. I've already had one person reach out to me for it, and I think that's going to be pretty exciting. I think that kind of completes everything that I worked on this weekend. or this week. It was a fairly quiet weekend here, but you know, everything can't be as productive as I had when I had the entire week off. We have an exciting week coming up this coming week, and it's mostly in the weekend because it's the long weekend. Saturday, for my 11sies live, I will have my friend John from Guys Craft 2 over here on my channel. We are going to start sewing up the pattern Tibet from Villa Rosa Designs. He picked some gorgeous Christmas fabrics, and I have kitty fabrics, and if you haven't seen that, these are two of the fabrics that are already cut. This is another pair of the fabrics. And then this is the fun giant kitty print. That is going to be a lot of fun to sew up in the pattern. If you need more details, we do have an announcement video that came out last week that you can go watch. But in short, on Saturday, August 31st, over here on my channel at 11 a.m. Eastern, we will be starting the project here. And then on Sunday, the 1st of September at, let's see, it's 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Arizona time, we will continue over on the Guys Craft 2 channel, and we're going to see how far we get. I think we will be able to get most of the pattern, if not all of it, done between those 2 days because it's a pretty simple pattern and has a lot of awesomeness in it. And because I am working on this pattern this weekend, my normal live sew of Fort Worth Fabric Studios, for the most part, is going to be slightly shifted. I will be doing it Labor Day Monday instead of my normal Saturday. It's so that I don't end up falling a full week behind. It's already enough that, you know, the pattern comes out on Monday and I sew on Saturday, but it's going to be the first week of sewing is going to be released tomorrow, and it's going to be one full week. And then after that, I will be on the normal Saturdays to catch up on everything else. I will be posting YouTube cards on everything, so be on the lookout for those. That way you will know when I have all my sew-alongs and everything happening. Anywho, I think that's going to be about it for today. I hope you were entertained a little bit with my weekly shenanigans. If you wouldn't mind doing the things the YouTube algorithm loves, that would be awesome. They are such things such as liking the video, or disliking it if you choose, subscribing to my channel, commenting, or even doing a backflip or something. Please don't do a backflip. That's a lot of work. Ringing the bell icon next to the subscribe button will get you notified of when I go live on Saturday mornings and upload other videos. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day and an awesome week. Until next time, stay happy and keep stitching.